I attended residential school here at St. George's. I went in when I was 5 years old. I came out when I was 11 years old. The reasons I was put in St. George's, well, of course, were my parents were alcoholics. I really don't know yet. It's something that I haven't even talked to my mother about. It's something that I haven't forgiven her for putting me in that school. So it's something that I don't talk to my mother about it. I see my mother all the time and everything, and she is now, a non-drinker. She has quit drinking for over 14 years. But I still haven't been able to forgive her for putting me in that school because of the things that happened in that school. When I went into St. George's School, I couldn't speak English. All I had was my native tongue because I had been raised by my grandparents. And immediately upon arriving in the school, I was told that I could not speak my language. And I was told in English. And I guess I asked back, "I don't understand you," in native, and I was immediately beaten. And those beatings continued for at least 3 years, where I tried my best to hang on to my language. We used to get caught, down in the fields, get caught talking our language, and me and Roger Hans was a friend of mine. We got caught speaking our tongue, and we were both beaten right on the spot. And they didn't take a stick to you or anything. They beat you. They kicked you. They punched you. They beat you really bad. And well, I guess after, a bunch of those, I even got beat in the church once. I had fallen asleep in the church, and I guess I had started talking in my sleep. And I was saying Indian words, and it was in the church. So they immediately, really sacrilegious, like what I had just done was the worst thing. I got kicked by a man named Mr. T. He was a Caucasian male, big man, and he grabbed me by the arm. You remember those old type boots, needle boots they used to call them, the real sharp pointed toes? He kicked me right in the anus with those boots on, and I couldn't walk for 2 weeks. He had ruptured me with his toe of his foot. And that was in a church. So I guess as time went by, it just buried. All my language was just buried. I couldn't speak it anymore. I still understand way more than I can speak. The sexual abuse that happened in that school, it's not something I'm talking about. I'm not ready to talk about that. That is something that's going to be with me for the rest of my life, I'm sure. But and there was all the other things that happened in that school. The beating up of each other, native against native, the bribery and the stealing. Like when I remember my mom giving me a coat one Christmas. I wasn't allowed to go home Christmas time because I guess there was more important things that my mother wanted to be doing at that time of year than to be stuck with me. So, but she gave me a coat, and it had $15 in the pocket. And as soon as the overseer found the money, he put it into his pocket and said, "We'll put your name on the list. You will be allowed to take a little bit of money each weekend." So I thought that's fine. When the first weekend came and I went to ask for $1, They didn't know what I was talking about. There was no evidence of the money. My name wasn't on the list. I had been robbed. And I had been robbed by an adult who was supposed to be one of the supervisors at the residential school. So that, of course, made me realize that stealing was okay. This person stole from me, I should be able to steal. Oh, and there's all kinds of things that I learned in that school. I learned how to lie and cheat. And I really learned how to steal. I learned how to hate. I couldn't talk to white people. I hated white people. I hated the church and everything that it stood for. Even to this day, I'm non-religious. I do not believe in God. I do not believe in the church or the Anglican church or the Catholic church. I do not believe in Jesus Christ. I don't believe in Mother Mary. I believe in what's out here. To me, this is my greatest strength, is the wilderness, the bush. I find a lot of peace when I'm out in the bush. I'm slowly starting to look back towards the Father, but I don't look at Him in that way as God. I look at Him as Father, Son, the great grandfather, the Great Spirit. God is to me is everything that's here. It's you, it's me, it's the ground, it's the sky and the trees. That's God. To me, that's all there is. I firmly believe that when I die, I will cease to exist. That's it. End of line. There is no heaven. There is no hell. You are like an animal who dies. You cease to exist. Your spirit is finished. The only way that you live on is through your children. That's me right there, and my son. That's me and my wife together. We're both alive. So when we die, we'll always be alive through our children. But I don't believe in heaven. I'm not worried when I die. I couldn't think about where I'm going to go, heaven or hell. To me, there is no. You just die. A dog gets run over on the road. It doesn't go to doggy heaven or doggy hell. Or what is it, a good dog or a bad dog? We're just animals, and we die. We cease to exist, and that's the only way we live, as far as I'm concerned. And that's my firm belief. I really believe in that. My grandfather, my real blood grandfather, was murdered in the Shalusa Reserve, and he was stabbed to death. But my adopted grandfather was the world to me, because he was the only one of my family who treated me like I was a person. And he committed suicide. He had arthritis very bad, and he couldn't support his family no more, so he left. And that really bothered me for a lot of years, because he was my only ally. My grandmother was a very hard woman, very strong, but she was very hard. She pushed me very hard. In all things that I did, she really pushed me hard, but not education. I mean, she taught me how to fish, and she taught me how to work in the garden, and to really work. I'd get up in the morning, I would be outside in the garden at 5 o'clock in the morning. I had to do that till the school bus came, and then I was gone on the school. This is after I got out of St. George's. So she had a lot to do with, I believe, my strength of character. I believe came from my grandmother. But as far as like St. George's, the school itself, when it was still standing, I went inside the building. It was a scary place, so scary for me, even as a grown man. It was really scary to go back into that building again. The church is still standing. I can't even go inside the building. The church was such a scary place for me. They pushed religion on us so hard. They really, really shoved it down our throat. We were told repeatedly that we were uneducated. We were useless in the form that we were in. We had to forget our past. We had to forget our culture. We had to forget our traditions. The purpose of it, I don't know. I guess I've learned that over the years, that it was a form of simulation. They took the children away from the reserve and away from their families so that they could be brainwashed and resculpted to be put back so long into white man society. That's the way, from what I've learned over the years, talking with other people that have been in residential schools, that's exactly how they felt. They felt they were stripped of everything, stripped of their identity, their culture, and they were given something else. And of course, what they gave you was hate. They taught you how to hate.